kind of breathing apparatus that's going on in front of his nose.
The breathing apparatus is actually a very neat piece. It's called the giver of life. The soul transfers through this, and a giver of life to me would be air. I mean, we breathe air. This is a guy who needs this mass to survive.
Because, where is he?
Outer space.
Could the carving on the sarcophagus lid of King Pakal really provide confirmation of the complicity between Maya rulers and extraterrestrial forces, as ancient astronaut theorists believe?
Well, I tell you guys, I be flying those ships, and I don't really know if this is an indication of him really showing you him having an actual ship. What I believe he's doing is showing you guys his ability to astral project and fly ships. You know what I mean? The ships being, well, there is story that they did have these ships here on the ground, on the face of the earth too, and now that they're inside the ground. But I'm just wondering myself if he's actually demonstrating him flying a ship, or is he showing you the capability of him having the power to fly himself to a ship?
Perhaps further evidence can be found, etched in stone throughout Mesoamerica. The Palace of Palenque. Discovered in the late 18th century by Spanish explorers, this royal compound is the largest and most complex of those found in the ancient city.
Now I want you to listen to what he said. He said that it was discovered.
Researchers believe
Discovered in the 18th century by Spanish explorers. Listen, by the 1800s, the Spaniards had been all over this land. So there's no way you're going to tell me since 1400, in 400 years of them being here in the Americas and doing nothing but pillaging and plundering and getting information from all the locals who they interrogate about what's going on. You're going to tell me they didn't come across this place until the 1800s and found it empty and dilapidated? See how they lie? This is how they lie. See, what happens is the really intelligent people that had moved into the earth already did that, okay? The ones who had not moved into the earth, the ones who was actually here with these shelters and that remained here with these shelters, they are all Christians and Catholics today, and what you call Mexicans. Because what they did is they went and they took them away from their homes, killed all the men, took the women and the children, raped all those women and made them have babies every year. And every time they had a new baby, if it was a female, she got set up to be raped again so she could have more babies. But if it was a son, they immediately took that boy from a small child and started training him to grow up to be a God-respecting Catholic who they could incorporate and take him around the world to other places and help them do more pillaging and more plundering. And then as the years go by, 400, 500 years, you got a whole race of people called Mexicans who doesn't even know that they are the people who built these structures right here, that were raped, pillaged, plundered, beaten, given false ID, denationalized, because you think that you are an American citizen, but you are not. Okay, that's the reason why when you fill out an application for a job, they have that thing that says white, not Hispanic, letting you know if you are Hispanic, don't claim that you're a white person, because we're sick of you guys coming in here just because your skin look white. When you fill out an application, you say you're white, then when you get to the interview, we see that you're Hispanic. See, we don't like that because we wanted this job to be for a white person. And when you said you were white on your application, we didn't know that you meant a white Hispanic. So now when we fill out an application, we make it perfectly clear to you that this job is not for a white Hispanic. This job is for a regular white person. So when you fill your application out, and it's, you see that spot that says Hispanic, that means Hispanic. I mean, he's very panicking that one day a SAR is going to come along and wake everybody up on this earth and let you know we are one family of melinated people who went all over this planet and built these structures everywhere. So you are not white, you are not any of that shit. What you are a goddess or a god. And you need to return to your knowledge of self being that, so we can return to building these colleges. That's what they all were. They were all institutions of learning that we didn't sit around and force someone to be wealthy before you could have knowledge. That's the reason why we were so easily conquered by them, because we were all very wise. So we were not barbarians. Wise people do not rob, murder, kill, and steal from people, because they know that all that stuff that they need will be provided for them eventually, even if there is a circumstance with someone on the earth hoarding every damn thing. The sun will still make sure that everything you need will eventually be provided for you, especially if you are a divine person and knows how to wait, regardless to how much ridicule you get from people and all that stupid stuff that you have to hear from dumb people who don't know a damn thing. You just take your time and you stand out there and you do your job and you roll with it. And when it's time to cuss, you cuss. And when it's time to be calm and be cool, you be calm and you be cool. And that's the way weather is. And like I told you guys, I'm just like the weather. I can change on your ass at any second. Motherfucker. See? But here's the deal. This is the people who we as melanated people are now and has always been. So when I showed you Washington, D.C. a minute ago, the white man cannot take credit for building that place, because it is the melanated man and woman, God and goddess, that brought this knowledge to planet Earth.
A four-story tower in the middle of the palace was built so Mayan kings and priests could observe the celestial movement of the sun and stars.
See? Through the sunlight.
This is the main palace here at Palenque. And one of the unusual features is this observatory, huge tower to watch the stars.
Then the sun.
Also throughout the palace are these unusual T-shaped windows.
At the sunlight.
They've baffled archaeologists for centuries. It's thought that perhaps they represent the wind god. But it's also possible that these T-shaped windows are pointing to the sky.
Let the
What
sunlight.
was it that the rulers of Palenque were looking for?
The tower at the Palace of Palenque is just one of many celestial observatories built throughout the ancient Maya territories.
Their practical system of astronomy was an observational one. And so the design and the construction of a lot of buildings was intended to create these sight lines, to create these vantages for observation, to see and mark important astronomical events.
See?
We
Something
see
taken from
that
there.
temples were aligned to
Let me show
specific
you.
moments in time.
The tower at the Palace of Palenque is just one of many celestial observatories built throughout the ancient Maya territories.
Their practical system of astronomy was an observational one. And so the design and the construction of a lot of buildings was intended to create these sight lines, to create these vantages for observation, to see and mark.
See, look. See how flat it is? They jacked it. They jacked the gold that was up there. I guarantee you there was gold up there. They took it. I guarantee you. They took it. And as you can see, just like I said, on each corner, there was a door. And the reason for that is that way you could pay homage to the sun no matter what position it was in on the earth. You had your rising sun, your setting sun, whatever position, you can get it. And people walked up these stairs every day according to their energy level. But you knew to keep yourself healthy so you could come up here and commune with God, the sun.
Important astronomical events.
See the sun going in there? Look.
We see
Did you
that
see it?
temples were aligned to specific moments.
I told you the sun come right in
Rulers of
there.
Palenque were looking for.
The tower at the Palace of Palenque is just one of many celestial observatories built throughout the ancient Maya territories.
Their practical system of astronomy was an observational one. And so the design and the construction of a lot of buildings was intended to create these sight lines, to create these vantages for observation, to see and mark.
You see this window right here? Watch how the sunlight goes right in that thing. What they were saying is when they built this thing from the ground, this is how wise these people were. They knew how tall it was going to be, and they knew this hole needed to be right where it's at, so when the sun get at a certain position, it would shoot light right through this hole. This is how wise they were. And then these are the people who they tell you we're not smart enough to make a wheel, okay?
Important astronaut.
Do you see it? That's exactly what I'm talking about. You see that sunlight going right in there, and I guarantee you when the sunlight goes in there, it struck something and probably supplied light all through the whole building, along with this thing, like I told you, the gold thing being up here, bringing in sunlight also, causing a reflection where this whole building had light in it. You could get electrical current from this gold cap right here, very small inducive, but still all the same, inductive current. And then also with this light coming in right here, they were able to manipulate light all throughout this whole structure, as well as air, because as you can see, there's no ventilation things anywhere to be found. But the most important part of ceremony was right here. And then if you was a person who had initiated, who had graduated and needed to go to a certain initiation ceremony or appointment or procession, there probably was some type of shaft in there where you could go to the lower recess in here and get inaugurated or coordinated or whatever you want to call it, you know?
We see that temples were aligned to specific moments in time, and the equinoxes and the solstices are the most important moments in time.
As far as sun goes, see, a solstice or equinox doesn't matter to a person that's not involved with what the sun is doing. You don't even know what equinox or solstice is. The reason why they are most important moment of time is because these people were sun worshipers. They were sun people. And that's the reason why you see right here, you can see the peak there that I was telling you about that's missing. See, the X I was telling you about? There it goes right there. But see, they took those X's off because in this case, they were gold. So they took the gold off and the only thing that's left is that little square right there. Because the tops were gold and the white man stole them. That's why they don't want to tell you that. They don't want to tell you that they came here and saw all these people around all these learning centers worshiping the sun and getting knowledge from the sun. Because they have no pigments and no melanin. So since they have no melanin, they don't want melanated people to know the power of your melanin. They don't want you to know that if you are a beautiful woman and you want to have a child, you should find you a man that is darker than you as much as possible to have your child, so your child would be able to absorb sunlight information, the healing of the sunlight. Everything that the sun has to offer is readily administered to the melanated person at larger receiving doses, larger administrations, because you're able to process it. And put it this way, you got a glass of medicine, I got a glass of medicine too. They telling you need to drink this is going to heal you, how you ready for the fight tomorrow. I can drink mine, even though it's gross and nasty, I can drink it. I done drank mine down. You sitting next to me, you can't drink yours. Your mother's sitting there telling you, come on, I need you to drink this so you can get up and get running. You can't stand the taste, you can't drink it, because your body just is not cut enough to make you be able to